All right, welcome to the Blitz Pickup on another episode of the Dark Side of Beastwriter. I am your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today we're going to be breaking down a fan's perspective, a content creator's perspective, who I really respect and trust and really came to like when just seeing how he curates his content. And again, he does a really good job at this. You guys know who he is. He's huge on here on social media. None other than Samoan Raider. So I'm really excited to have him on the show today. He'll be hopping on this live stream as we get set here. But look, there's a lot of good things that we can talk about. We talked about yesterday on a lot of different things. But before we go ahead and get started, I just want to say mahalo to Sanjeet. Really helped me out. We collabed yesterday, another content creator. And of course, you guys know a lot of you guys came from Sanjeet's channel because we've been collabing over the course of the year. And it really helped the algorithm, obviously, because we're growing. Like literally, we gained 150 subscribers in less than 11 hours, which means that somebody's watching my video, and then from that video, they're subscribing to the channel. So that's why I said all we need is eyes here on the DOB, and everybody can. There's enough, everyone can eat. There's enough at the table, right? Like everyone can eat. So shout out to him. If you haven't seen that live stream, or excuse me, that video that he posted yesterday around 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, go ahead and check that out. I didn't want to spill the beans on on our live stream when you guys had questions. I said, go to Sanjeet's channel. It's all in there. But I did break it down yesterday as far as the meat and potatoes on what to expect from the team moving forward. So I'm really excited for Samoan Raider to be hopping on. He'll be hopping on shortly. But let's just go ahead and get started. We're going to leave no stone unturned. Just some questions that you guys have. But again, I just want to give a special shout out to those that sent super thanks and Venmo donations over the course of last night, from last night's live stream on into today. So Mika from Germany, again, coming through in the clutch, sent me another $10 super thanks. Thank you so much for you. Thank you so much to Nick Valentine for your $25 Venmo donation. I really appreciate it. And then also Kyle, geez, what's the last name? Gotta look it up here. Don't want to mispronounce your last name here. Kyle Munich, thank you so much. Munik. Thank you so much for the Venmo donation of $10. I really appreciate it. So a lot of stuff that we can discuss. Kalua says, can we just get the intro song to Samoan's channel just for kicks? I wish I had that, so I could put that in there, but obviously it's Samoan's channel, right? So you can't just steal music. It's copyrighted. Probably. Most likely. And on to Six Soldier. Thank you so much for working. He says working overtime, but still watching Beast. Thank you so much, on to Six Soldier. So yeah, this should be a fun one. There's 28 of you guys watching right now. Smash the like button before we go ahead and get started. But yeah, this should be a good show with Samoan Raider. If he's able to make it. I just talked to him like literally just minutes ago. Hopefully he can hop on the live stream. I gave him the link, so I don't know if he's having problems with that. But at the end of the day, he should be on here. We scheduled this out, how long ago? Like over a month and a half ago. And so hopefully we can go ahead and get this squared away. So let me just go ahead and talk about some questions that I have, right? That you guys have from me. And again, there's a poll here on what you guys like, if you guys haven't seen it yet, in regards to what you guys think, or who you guys think is going to be the top wide receiver when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders. That could be a number of different directions. If you look on my community page up here on YouTube, you'll notice that, right? You'll notice that. And again, we're doing the pick. Usually we do our live streams at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today, we're doing a special live stream at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But look, I put up a community post. If you guys haven't checked out the community page here on YouTube, because you're one of the 150 subscribers that just came over overnight, be sure to click on the community page on my YouTube channel. And I took a poll yesterday. I said, who will lead the team in receiving yards not named wide receiver Davante Adams? All right. And so here we go, right? We're going to talk about this in great detail, right? So let me just bring this up. Maybe we could do a screen share right here. Maybe grab some tidbits here, and then we can go ahead and get started on this. Oh my goodness. Long day today already. So if we go here, let me just go ahead and do this. Let's pull it up. All right, here we go. All right, you guys see this right now? All right, so right here. Who will lead the team in receiving yards not named wide receiver Davante Adams? Took this poll yesterday. We got 218 votes on this community post. And 50% of you, exactly half of you, said Jacoby Myers, coming over from the New England Patriots. And 31% of you said tight end Michael Mayer, the rookie that they traded up in the second round to go ahead and get. And obviously, 16% of you said slot wide receiver Hunter Renfrow. And then 4% said the field. All right. So again, you guys are here live. So who do you guys think? I mean, I don't know if you guys took this poll yet here on my community page, but who do you guys think is going to be the second leading receiver on the Las Vegas Raiders? Is Hunter Renfrow even going to be on the roster? That's a question for debate, right? That's a question for debate. We really don't know. We really don't know. So a lot of stuff going on, and we're just going to see how this one plays out. But at the end of the day, we're going to keep things hot. We have my guy D Menace in here. D Menace is here modding, making sure things in line. One of our enforcers here in the DOB. And like I said, Samoan Raider should be on here. It kind of looks like he may have had problems with linking to the live stream. And if we have some technical difficulties, we can always reschedule. It ain't a problem. We're leaving no stone unturned here in the DOB. Okay, Raider says, and we also have things to discuss anyways, right? So there's a lot of topics in terms of getting back to your answers on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. And again, here on YouTube, there's a lot of interaction going on. Okay, Raider, here we go. Do you think the new linebackers we got will be studs day one or going to take a while, undrafted free agents included? I think that Robert Spillane's going to be a stud. I talked about this with one of my guys who obviously works with the Raiders, and he asked for my thoughts on Robert Spillane. He's like, "Hey man, I know you had grace on Robert Spillane. What are your thoughts on Robert Spillane?" And so let me tell you, the guy's a tackling machine, and he's often overlooked because he's not a household name. So when they signed Robert Spillane, I was like, I already know what I'm going to ask, because he had the green dot taking over for Devin Bush when Devin Bush tore his ACL, and then transitioning that into year two. And you guys got to remember, I cover all 32 NFL teams. So you look at the teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Well, again, I also wrote for Sports Illustrated for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And again, I wrote an article that Mark Barron, even though I'm a Roll Tide Roll fan, right? I said Mark Barron's a liability in pass coverage, right? And so anyone that tries to say that transition from making from safety down inside to the second level backer is an easy transition, it's not. It's very difficult. And so when you look at guys like, the combination that they have here from Robert Spillane, during the course of the year, Mark Barron, right, at the inside off-ball linebacker position, and they play in a 34 base, not a 4-3 front. You really have to look at it and say, hey, look, people who say that Robert Spillane can't cover, I mean, look at the dynamics of the other 31 other NFL teams. You tell me, based on the grades, not the box score, who can cover as an off-ball linebacker like a Fred Warner, like a Shaq Leonard, and like a Roquan Smith. I got the grades. I graded every single snap of them over the course of the last 3 years. So the burden of proof falls on somebody who discredits that and says, oh, Robert Spillane sucks because he can't cover. Well, isn't that fact, or that statement, I should say, could be said of any other off-ball linebacker. So again, when people are saying Luke Masterson couldn't cover last year, well, a lot of times they're playing the Tampa cover 2. If you know the Tampa cover 2 with the 2 deep safety look, where the corners are pressing, what happens to the off-ball linebacker? What is he playing? He's playing 10 to 12 yards back behind the line of scrimmage, taking away the seams, right? So in order to know that dynamic of it, people in general just saying, oh, well, Luke Masterson can't cover because the ball's being thrown right in front of him. Well, that's the scheme. Like, he's supposed to take away the middle of the field because, again, they have 2 verticals on the outside that can really stretch the field and get deep between the 20s. So again, when you talk about this from an inside-out leverage type of a game, now we're talking football. Now we're talking X's and O's. We're not just talking, hey, this guy can't cover, this guy can cover, right? Now we're really getting into the meat and potatoes and the real fine print exactly as to the why behind the what. Everyone can talk about the what, but what's the why? What is the why? So getting back to your question, I think Robert Spillane's going to lead the team in tackles. He's going to be a team captain. Don't get it twisted. Write this down. Keep the beast receipt, right? He's going to be a team captain here. And again, we're going to leave no stone unturned. I wouldn't be surprised if Divine Diablo showed up as a weak side backer as well, right? Because we talked about the strong side, weak side, the jack, the Jill, the will, if you will, no pun intended. And we can talk about all that in between. All right, all that in between. John Q says, Jimmy's giving me AB frozen foot vibes. Ouch. Egalitarian's in here says, what's up, Beast? What's going on? How you doing? Raider 58 says, I would try to trade Renfrow for Queen. So everyone's talking about the Patrick Queen dynamic with the Baltimore Ravens. Here's the question that I have. GM Eric DeCosta, right? You guys know GM Eric DeCosta, right? Talk about him a lot here in the DOB, right? Because you got to know all the dynamics of other 31 other NFL GMs, what they like to do, how they like to build up the teams from the outside in, inside out, and how they value certain positions and if they consider those positions premium. All right, there's a lot of different layers to the onion to really get to the core there. But when it comes to a guy, where does he fit schematically and financially? Because one, he was a first round pick, right? And I said, if you want to check the Beast receipts, it says that so Samoan Raider is going to hop on pretty soon. He just sent me a text message, so he'd be hopping on pretty soon. But no, getting back to Patrick Queen, there's a lot of different dynamics here that we can go with that, right? Because they're coming from a 34 front, and so again, why is GM Eric DeCosta so sold, if he is, rumors, reports, whatever the case may be, that Patrick Queen may not be on the roster? Like, why is he on the trade block? What, rumored to be on the trade block? Why? What's the why behind the what, right? And so if he goes to Coach Graham's system, are we sure that he's going to pan out? And again, when you add a player, it takes away another player's ability to gain starter reps, right? Or live reps or depth reps. So again, at the end of the day, you have to see it from a different lens. You got to remember, from a GM perspective, going into year 1 to year 2 is the most progress a player can make for growth. I talk about this with Coach Harbaugh. I talked about this with Coach Belichick when he was here at joint practice with Christian Barmore. And again, that's the most significant growth from a player, is going from year 1 to year 2. And so again, when you look at it from that perspective, then you look at the undrafted rookie free agents, right? Who they got last year, bringing back to this question, right? Again, we're leaving no stone unturned. All right. So what's the layers of this? So you got the undrafted rookie free agents. You have 2 off-ball linebackers in Darian Butler, Luke Masterson. Okay. So how's their progress? Because if there is no progress, are you going to put one of those guys on the practice squad when they were actually on the team's 53 just 1 year ago? And again, the iron sharpens iron mentality. How does that affect guys like Robert Spillane, Devon Diablo coming back from injury? How does that affect the second level backers as a unit, right? Moving forward. Because again, if you play competitive sports, you know the competitive edge that you have over someone else that might be competitively better than you in terms of skill set is team chemistry. All right, there's 48 of you guys watching. Exactly what I have to bring on the fire here in the dark side of Beastwriter. Give this video a thumbs up. We are leaving no stone unturned. Raiders Primo says, "What's good, Beast? What is going on? How you doing?" And he says, "Love the flag, by the way. Unpopular opinion, Jimmy G will start for the Raiders week 1. Yes, I am in line in agreement with that. Again, the Beast receipts check out on this, right? When Samoan Raider was on here, on YouTube, and then he was the only one, right, who really gave me credit for why it was postponed, right? He put up my tweet, he put up my Beast receipt. He says, my Uso Beastwriter around Sakamoto says this, it's contract related, right? Putting the final touch on the contract. We already broke it down 2 live streams ago. If you're just one of the 150 new subscribers, or one of the old subscribers here on the dark side of Beastwriter, have yet to see that, catch the replay. I have the receipts of everybody and the timeline of current events. So again, it was tied to the contract, right? Which I reported in real time, right? And again, people are saying that he failed the physical. Well, not so fast, my friend. Was a physical even given? No, right? Think about it. ESPN put out the report. And also others put out the report too. Not just ESPN. There's Vinny Bonsignori, who said that they knew about the injury, that surgery would be required before they had signed him. So how can you pass a physical knowing that, right? And ESPN, the headline of ESPN's article that PG wrote was, let me just pull it up for you guys again, but it was pretty much explaining that. Let me pull it up for you guys. And again, don't take my word for it. There's a lot of good beat writers, right? Like everyone provides their own great flavor, and I think everyone does a really good, solid job at that. I mean, honestly. So to say like, oh man, like what happened? What went wrong? Now there's people. Look, you look at my Twitter. Look what Lombardi's saying. He said 70% of the time we put a waiver in. It's nothing new. What did Jason Fitzgerald say from Over the Cap? We broke it down on the live stream. All right, in great detail, by mind you. So it's just like, and here's the thing. It could come back and say he actually did have a physical. Then it's like, oh man, so here we go. He didn't have a physical. Then he did have a physical. Didn't have a physical. Then it's just a really weird situation. I will call myself out when I get it wrong too. I love doing it. No one else has to do it. You don't have to do it. Trust me. I'll call myself out. But was I wrong? We'll see. So far, so good. So far, so good. So here it is, right? And this is the crazy thing about this. The headline right here is, and I'll just post it up here just so you guys can see. I think it's really important that you guys see this, right? And again, because people are like, keep asking me questions on this, like what is going on? And people are still talking about this. Like, wow. I guess a slow news day, I guess, but it is news. I'm not going to say it's not important news. 32 of you guys watching, give this video a thumbs up before I go ahead and share this. But let's take a look at this, right? Let's take a look at this. All right, y'all see this? I'll make sure y'all see this. Jimmy Garoppolo signed waiver in place physical per reports. That was reported by ESPN, right? We already broke this down. Again, you want to catch the live stream that I did 2 days ago, you're going to want to do that. But again, did he take a physical? He took a physical that failed the physical when he took away. Anyways, we have my Uso in the house. Samoan Raider, how you doing, my guy?
Man, what's good, man? My bad, man. I'm running on some more time, man. But yeah, I had to put the baby to sleep. But yeah, man. How you doing, man? How's everything going, man? It's good to finally talk to you. Though.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, absolutely.
Over the internet.
We got Samoan Raider here, and follow my Uso. He has UCE Nation. I just want to give a shout out to you. First of all, you put solid work out there. I always, even coming from the Niners, I'm like one of the first people that actually gave fans a voice. So, you know, when I started my grind, I was once a fan, right, of the 49ers. That's a diehard 49er fan. And then I broke into the beat writing industry and then became a beat writer. And I always felt there was a disconnect between fans and beat writers. And I said, how can I bridge the gap? Because as a fan, I was like, how cool would it be to talk to someone as a friend or bridge the gap between that dynamic between, you know, fan and beat writer, or a fan or reporter, whatever you want to call us, but and have this dialogue on a day-to-day basis, not just like, oh, cool, I'm going to write an article and then be done with it. Because there's a lot of questions, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So like back in 2010, I started this, just a little background, and, you know, Leo Luna, we have Leo Luna, who is on here, was one of my writers or one of my social media guys. We had Al Sacco, who from KMBR. We had a lot of different people who are on my underneath me, right? And then I gave them their love, and then that's how they kind of branched out into their own, like Big Mike Andrews from Nothing But 49ers, Leo Luna from 49ers Goldmine, and then of course Al Sacco, who I said KMBR, but now that I remember, he's also 49ers Web Zone. So all these different people now, they're just like doing their own thing, and it's great. It's great to see the growth. So I want to give you the opportunity too, because you're huge. By the way, you're huge. And nowadays, a lot of content creators, let's be honest about this, a lot of content creators are bigger than beat writers in terms of exposure. Let's be honest about this.
Yeah.
Right? Let's keep it 100.
Yeah.
So again, everyone does their job in a certain way, and I'm just want to give you a voice. I wanted to work with you. I know we've been working it for a lot of different going on 4 weeks now, like almost a month. We were trying to circle the calendar.
Yeah, I know. I know our schedules didn't really line up and stuff like that, but it's good to finally be on, man. I appreciate you having me on. You know, I see what you're doing, and I hear what you're saying, though. You know, there's not a lot of beat writers that'll come on and at least you know, start a YouTube channel, talk to the nation. I see you doing your thing. Sometimes I'll pop into your lives, but you give everybody at least a little nugget of what goes on behind closed doors and whatnot. And it's always good to see your stuff on Instagram when you're there at the locker room, whether you're listening to the presser and whatnot, or even just being in the locker rooms after the game, you know. And I know I think I know a couple of beat writers or people that media, you know, that have credential, and you guys be up there, huh? Like in the stadium, and you guys just watch it. Do you go straight home after you just sit there and like go over your notes and then leave, or how did that all work out?
Yeah, so how it works is typically I get there. Well, I can't speak for everyone else. I'm like one of the first ones in, last ones out, to be honest with you. So like 1:05 p.m. or 1:25 kickoff, I get there around 4 hours before kickoff, just so I can get my news notes and quotes out of the way, start my kind of get my game plan as to how the game's going to unfold in my head. And then also I'll go onto the field and get that pregame vibe. So if there's injuries, like a Denzel Perriman who was injured, I'll shoot videos of them pregame. You wouldn't get that footage because there's no one there, right? So I'll be the one there, and any little thing I can get to show the nation, I want to give you guys that little piece of golden information, because I think that's really cool that we can all discuss before the game starts. Usually after that, after I get all that, I might go up to the press box after seeing pregame warmups and everything, and then post the foods that we get. Because at Allegiant Stadium, I don't know if you know this, but it's all theme specific. Coming over from 49ers, you usually just get, it's great food both ways, but they don't make it theme specific based on the team that you're playing. So if it's like New England Patriots, you get clam chowder, lobster mac and cheese. You get like king crab, like you get crazy food. With the Niners, like the Patriots came, it's still the same thing. It's like, oh, you get like gourmet tri-tip. It's still good food, but it's not team specific. So that's kind of the cool thing. Game unfolds. After the game unfolds, we go down and we get our player interviews and coaches interviews. After that, we go back up to the press box, and then we can either, you can choose to write your stories, wrap them up, or post your video content and write your stories. But I don't get out of there until 6 or 7, sometimes 8.
Because the game will finish around like 4 or 5, huh?
Yeah.
Like if it starts at 1, yeah. Because I'll be seeing Harry get out there late too sometimes. So I'm like, man, how long y'all be over there? Because the whole thing, just getting out of Allegiant Stadium as a fan, we took the party buses back to Barcode and then just head straight home, and then that's when I start doing my work and stuff like that. It's different though, because before I would usually do a live stream right after the game because I would just watch the game live on TV. But now that I go to the games, it makes it a little bit more difficult to come home, rush home, go live, do something. So I just throw it together like a recorded video, and then the editing takes time. Sometimes I don't even get it out that night of, and I'm like, damn. So this year I've been trying to figure out different ways to make it more easier to get like that reaction out or whatnot, that instant reaction, especially after a game, whether we win or whether we lose. It just depends on, especially the time that we finish too sometimes. So yeah.
It's not easy. Like, I tell people it's easy. Like, okay, for instance, my setup sucks. Okay, here's the thing. This is my 9 to 5. This is your 9 to 5 too. But as a beat writer, my setup is very poorly done compared to yours. Look at yours, and then look at mine. My background. Right, it's horrible, bro. Come on. I keep it 100, bro. I trust.
It don't even matter, man. It just matters.
It does matter. No, yours was way cooler than mine. I always joke around it because you do a good job. We have Pharaoh NFL. His is pretty dope.
Pharaoh and Ray, man. I their stuff is clean. I take some notes from them, man. No, but I haven't even shot anything in like the last 2 weeks or so. I've just been focused on the podcast and my baby. That's about it.
Yeah, well, congratulations.
Thank you, man. But next week I'm actually starting to get everything ready for next week to just get back on board with. I know there's a lot of crazy things that's been going on, but I know we both kind of like talked a little bit like on Twitter and whatnot after the Jimmy G signing.
Yes.
It's funny because before that, it was an ongoing joke. I would go around the tailgates and ask people. I even posted the videos like, who'd you rather have, Tom Brady or Jimmy G? Obviously, everybody don't want none of these guys, but if they had to choose, it was Tom Brady. 100% was Tom Brady. And then when he announced his retirement, because I was like, hey, it's written in stone. Tom Brady's coming to the Raiders, yada yada. And then when he came out with that video, like, oh, I'm gonna retire, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. And I was like, all right, it's Jimmy G time. And everybody was like, no, hell no. And then when they signed him, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of optimistic about this. I feel like he could do something over here. I know he was getting a lot of flack because of his injuries and all that. And I was like, and I know that he might have choked in the biggest games, but he got to the biggest games. And you were with the Niners. You probably got to see the whole thing unravel because I feel like I don't know how it was. I feel like the Niners have always had a good defense. No matter what with the players that they've had, but they still were never able to get over that hump. Because Jimmy was after what's the coach's name?
Jim Harbaugh. It was Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh, and then Jim Harbaugh 2014, Jim Tomsula 2015, Chip Kelly 2016, Kyle Shanahan 2017. I went through 4 regimes, bro.
Oh, so he came around like Kyle
2017.
Shanahan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all those years, after the Jim Harbaugh years, they've always had a solid defense,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
still were never able to put it together and
Yeah.
win a lot of games. And then when Jimmy G got there, he was good enough to at least run that offense, carry that team to the
Yeah.
playoffs, to the Super Bowl, and then obviously he didn't win a Super Bowl, but same thing happened with Colin Kaepernick. So I was just like kind of optimistic. I said, he knows the system over here. Obviously, he would have to get to learn it again, because he hasn't been in there for a while. But I was like, I feel like he could do just as good of a job as Derek Carr, if not better,
Yeah.
without injury. If he doesn't get injured, obviously injuries that'll ruin the whole thing. But shout out my guy Harry. No, but yeah, I was one of those fans that was really optimistic after the signing, and when everybody was going crazy, yada yada. Oh,
Mhm.
we should have Derek Carr. And I remember you tweeted me or something like that, or something. You were saying like, no, you're on the same boat as well. You got to see Jimmy G go win in San Francisco for quite a while. I
Mhm.
mean, obviously he dealt with his injuries, but when he was on the field, he was at least a viable quarterback out there. But yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I think, and here's the thing: I covered Jimmy Garoppolo. I also covered Derek Carr, even though it's 1 year body of work. I try to stay objective. That's my job, right? And what I see from Jimmy Garoppolo, I can tell you this, and this is just covering Jimmy Garoppolo from my time in San Francisco. He is going to win that locker room. Okay. And everyone talks about that dynamic, but I don't think everybody truly understands the dynamic. Like everyone talks about it without substance. Like the dynamic that he will bring inside that locker room, I can tell you what, like everybody is going to be like amazed at this guy's unquestioned work ethic. I remember when they traded for him and I got to interview Jimmy Garoppolo. Me and Jimmy Garoppolo have a good working relationship. And so I got to know him very, very well. And one thing that I noticed about Jimmy Garoppolo from the get-go is his want to. Like everybody wants to do this, wants to do that, but his want to even be better than what people have expectations for, even today with the nation. I think he wants to prove his doubters wrong. Unfortunately, durability is a concern, right? We all talk about that. But at the end of the day, this is why, and what makes Jimmy Garoppolo so intriguing is the fact that he's been under this system. At his opening presser, I asked him, I said, "Hey, bro, you told me that you didn't have a playbook in college. How crazy is that, right? Was that a blessing in disguise? What was that like?" And he said, "Yeah, man, to be honest with you," he kind of laughed because I think he kind of knew, like, oh, man, he's,
Yeah.
he said it was kind of hard, it was just kind of hard. But, he has Jerry Shaplinsky there, who's another tight ends coach, and he worked with them coming out, obviously with Coach McDaniels. So to that dynamic, I think at the end of the day, I think you just have to give this guy a shot. I think there's so much. Again, this is the off season, right? So anything that can get clicks, you're going to get clicks, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can pull it, you're going to pull it. And again, I'm not against anyone for clickbait material. That's just not that's not my flavor. And I
Yeah.
always talk about my flavor, but if that's how you make your money, hey, my hat's off to you, right? You make your money, you do what you got to do. But that's just not how we do it here. And so like when people were saying, oh, like the failed physical thing, and then it's like, okay, so he didn't take a physical, then he did take a physical, then did he really take a physical? Because ESPN, other people
Oh,
are now
yeah,
reporting
yeah.
that the waiver took place of the physical. So he knew that he wasn't going to pass a physical. Vinny Bonsignori, who's a longtime beat writer, said they knew he needed surgery before they signed him. So you can't have a failed designation of not passing a physical and then being signed, because then you would have failed your physical. So it's like, but then
Yeah,
again, at the end of the day, here's the thing. It could come out tomorrow that we're all wrong and say, oh, he did take a physical. That's why they, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
yeah.
like what? Like, I don't know. I think it's just a really weird situation.
No, for sure. I just caught up on all of that stuff, and I was like, damn, like, because there's people saying that we could cut him and not, take any money. I was like, I mean, that'd be crazy, but I never really read into the whole contract situation. But
Yeah.
even talks about having Tom Brady be the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he's buying a minority stake in the team and whatnot, but it's just all over the place. I don't know what's gonna go on. I still feel like Jimmy's gonna be good to go week one.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as right now, it doesn't seem like it to some people. And real quick, I do want to give a shout out to Harry. Harry does. I didn't get to talk about this, but he does be at the tailgates all the time. I'll be catching him
Yeah.
all the time over there. Well, when you gonna come to the tailgate though? I know you. I know you busy with
No. I actually went. So this is the funny thing. The nation have asked me. I gotta check my DMs. Who was it? Was it Wendy? Wendy, I forgot her last name. Wendy. Harry knows who she is. Just
Yeah,
Wendy, I think that's her name on Twitter. She's pretty
maybe.
well known. Anyway,
Yeah.
she's like, go tailgate in the black hole, well, not the black hole, but that, right next to, I guess it's the black hole. Anyways, I did do it. I did it with D Menace. So D Menace is here. He's part of like that he goes to the
J Lot.
tailgates and so yeah, is it what lot is it?
J Lot.
I think it is J Lot.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it is J Lot. And so that's right next to the stadium, right?
Yeah. It's right there. It's
Oh, so Harry Ruiz just taught. Yeah, he says just when Wendy, it's J Lot. So he's on this right now. So yeah.
That's
So
where we all be at. Yeah.
so yeah, I'm over there, and let me tell you something. I went there for the first time because I had to meet up with my Niner fans,
Oh,
friends,
game.
for
So
the
you
Niner game. So that was the first time I
oh,
went there, and I posted up on my YouTube channel, and it was. I tell you what, the
Atlanta
vibe
game.
that the nation gave was so welcoming. Like I was scared. I'll be honest. I was scared. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I was scared. I told Wendy I was like, I would go, but I'm kind of intimidated. Like, because I'm coming from. I don't know these people. Like, I'm scared. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they knew who I was. They welcomed me with open arms. I met the Violator, Wayne
Good.
Mabry, of course,
Yeah,
Gorilla. I mean, all these guys are really, really cool. Captain Jack. All these people, Dark Demon 52 or something like that.
yeah.
So all
They're
these
all out
guys,
there. Yeah.
yes, and then they all knew who I was, like, and it's all good vibes. I was like, whoa, this is really cool. Like, and then the coolest part is, at a tailgate, usually, you have a group, and then you have different groups, right? And then
Yeah.
different groups, and you just kind of do your own thing. No,
Yeah.
the nation, it's like, hey, I don't care if you're a Niner fan, I don't care if you're a Raider fan, you're more than welcome. Here, eat some food, and
Yeah.
and then I'm like, hey, man, I don't feel like, I can't eat right now. I'm just filming, and they're like, no, it's okay, it's
Yeah.
okay. And then
No,
they have like this,
they'll
what I'm
offer
saying? And
you
they're like,
food. They offer.
free food. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe you guys do this on the daily. Like, I never experienced that in my life, not as a fan, not as a beat writer. I feel like the vibe in Vegas, people get the misconception that it's a bad vibe. I will tell you what, it is the most
Yeah.
unique vibe in a good way.
Yeah, it's still a good vibe. I mean, it's nothing like Oakland. I'll never say it is, but Vegas does. They do have that good vibe out there. Other than when they get into the stadium and watch the game. But everybody, I'm telling you, man, like it tripped me out too. Even it's like the perks of being a part of the Raider Nation was, like just going in the tailgate and people were just offering food and stuff like that. Like my first game was in 2014, I believe so,
Okay.
in San Diego.
Okay.
And my wife took me to my first game in San Diego, and we were just walking. Nobody knew who I was at the time,
Yeah.
so I was just walking around, just trying to vlog and whatever. And then there was Raider fans like, "Hey, come get a beer, come get some tacos." I said, "Oh, how much?" Like, "No, just for free."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh shoot, for real?" My wife was like, "Dang, they're actually like cool people. Like the Raiders are like Raider Nation are actually cool people." Because she always thought they were like thugs and stuff like that, because of the image that we portray on TV and whatnot. But when you meet these people, most of them are hella cool, man. And I've been blessed to be here in Vegas now, and I get to go to more games than I've ever been in. And just going to the tailgate, it feels good to go around like, hey, you see this guy every other weekend, like, hey, what's good with you? Yeah. Hey, come get some food. Like, all right. Sometimes I go down J-Lot when I have no water, or if I'm thirsty. Me and Fitz were like, hey, let's go make our water run. They're like, all right. We'll walk down, wait for the first person. Hey, I was like, "Oh, you got water?" They're like, "Yeah, here, take a Modelo." I was like, "No, I'll take the water." Like, every time, everybody's always like, welcoming, especially at the tailgates, and I feel like that's sometimes my favorite part of being over there at Allegiant is the tailgate, just getting to hang out with people. I get to vlog the whole experience, and then when I get into the stadium, it's a whole different vibe depending on how the game goes. Like that last game, that Chiefs game, man, we went to. Oh man. We went there just to be there, and then we went to go party at the Wing Club afterwards. But we went over there, and I was like, okay, we have a chance to beat them. I know we don't really have nothing on the line, but to beat the Chiefs anytime is always a great thing. And then when it started going south, and then once they played a merry-go-round, like the
oh yeah, I saw that,
like,
dude.
all right, fuck this, man. We all went to the torch and just chilled over there, and I was barely even watching the game. I was like, man, I'm done with the season already. But overall, it's always a great experience. I can't wait for the season again. I don't know why we get so excited every year, even though they disappoint us all the time. But it's just me being an optimistic fan. But is this the first, like, okay, you started this YouTube channel Oh, when you came out here to Vegas, or you been had it when you were over there
No,
with
I
the
had
Niners?
it with the Niners. I had it with the
Okay,
Niners,
okay.
and I rebranded it. So this is what happened, bro. So like, look
Yeah.
at my analytics, right? So I lose about 100 subscribers every time I post a video because a lot of them are coming from the 49ers.
Oh, and they don't know, and probably they
So
catch up
so
and
I lose 100 and gain 300 or something like that. They're like the funny thing is like for everyone I lose, let's put that away. For every Niner fan I lose, I gain 2 Raider fans. So it's kind of like I'm shooting myself in the foot, but I'm gaining at the same
yeah.
time. But it's
Yeah.
gonna take a longer like
It'll take time, yeah. But
it's gonna take time.
last year, was that your first year, like, covering the Raiders,
Yeah.
the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. No, it's gonna grow over time for sure. Because I know everybody 'cause I think I found you I forgot how I found you. I don't know if it was on Twitter or if I seen you on Sanjit's, thing. But I think I seen you on Twitter first or on Instagram first, and
Uh-huh.
then I seen you on Sanjeet's you guys did like a collab or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, okay, he has a YouTube channel. And I just started subscribing since then and then just checking it out. But it'll come with time. I know the Raider Nation, once they get to know you, once they, after last year, I'm pretty sure they know you. So most of them are gonna start following you. And the nation shows a lot of love, especially when it comes to like, subscribers and stuff like that. It takes a little bit of time because now it's a
Yeah.
little bit more it's harder to grow now than it was back then. I think that's why I grew so big, even though I haven't been pumping out
No,
as
I think no, don't say no, no.
it's
No.
because like before, like but I started in 2014, man. There was like only like 5 other guys that I knew that was doing this, and
Yeah.
nobody was really taking this serious. Now it's like you can actually make a business out of it, or you can actually
Yeah.
like get
Yeah.
paid while doing this. It's
Yes.
like, oh, yeah. So once I took that route, man, it's been a blessing ever since. But I know you getting in with the Raider Nation, coming over here. I'm telling you, you're gonna grow, and I'm pretty sure when you walk around the tailgates, there's gonna be a lot of people that at least know you, and it's gonna
Yeah.
trip you out. I mean, it tripped me out the first time people noticed me. Like I was like, what the hell? I always feel
Yeah.
like I'm just a guy talking in front of the camera, but
Yeah.
when you go out there to the games, when
Right.
you go out to these Raider events, and people they're like, "Hey, I watch
Yeah.
you all the time." Like, oh
Yeah.
shoot! So it's pretty cool, and we definitely gonna have to like at least
Collab.
have some
Yeah.
time. We out here and whatnot, so we definitely gonna get something going
Yeah.
on over here.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I want to collab with like someone who like actually fits the DLB brand, like the cultural fit, right? We talk
Yeah,
about cultural fit all the time. And what does that look like? And I want something that's professional, that really keeps it 100, but then from a fan's perspective at the same time, and bridging the gap again between fan and beat writer. Because again, I did it with the Niners when I had NinerFans.com, hence NinerFans.com. And so again, the same thing with the tailgating. I did it with Levi Stadiums. I did what's called the Spot the
mm.
Beast contest, hashtag Spot the Beast. And anybody who spotted me, I would give tickets to that day's game. So you can
Oh,
go. Not
sheesh.
yeah, because I
Let's
and
go.
that's yeah, and I still do that. Here's the thing.
You do that
Samoan.
here?
I
It's a little
so
more
here
expensive over
I
here.
no.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah.
the thing. Once we hit 10K subscribers,
Yeah, yeah.
or where the money's flowing, I'm gonna get tickets to every single game, and I'm gonna give away those tickets as a giveaway for the DOB family. And here's the reason why. Because the 49er fans know how I do it, and I do it because as a thank you. Because I wouldn't be in the position I am today. Like I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. I wouldn't
No.
be with the Raiders covering the B. Obviously I have to put in the work in that, but you have to have a following. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And just because I'm there, am I just gonna say forget about the following? No. So even though I'm here in Vegas, there's my season tickets in section 134 at Levi Stadium. I'm
yeah.
here talking about bougie seats. 2 tickets are mine. I give them away to every single game to Niner fans that still support me here. So it's just one of those things where loyalty is all about everything for me,
Yeah,
right? I'm all about loyalty. And the bigger we grow here in the Dark Side Beastwriter, whether it be with you or and all these other content creators, the bigger we get as a nation. And I think that's only but good vibes.
yeah.
And so that's what I want to do. And people know that here is like once we hit a certain amount of subscribers where I can afford tickets to the game, I give out not one, I'll get 2 tickets. And
Yeah,
I'll just, hey, man, it's on me, man. Thank you for supporting
yeah,
me. Obviously, it's my own money, but I'm a one-man show. But again, it's like you people, I think sometimes tend to forget how you got to a certain place, and then once they get to the top, they just kind of downplay everyone else's.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the person that says, okay, I remember I still have people on an Excel spreadsheet from when I covered the Niners back in 2010 of still today on an Excel spreadsheet of who followed me the first 100, and they still follow me today.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I keep track. I keep track of my day ones, bro. So
Yeah. No, I know a couple of them, like whenever they pop up in chat one night. But I always remember how I even got into this whole thing. I don't know if you know any of the, well, this back in the day, like the OG Raider channels, because back in the day, a lot of them used to just, if you made a channel, like they'll always shout it out to all their subscribers, and it did. I remember when I got my first 100 too, and I was like, yo, this is crazy, you know, like
yeah,
people are
yeah,
actually listening, or like actually watching this, and I'm like, man. And then when it gets to the first 1,000 or 500, and then when man, and I forgot what, I think I'm like at 40 right now, and it's like, dang man, it's crazy, like 40 some thousand people be, well, not all. I know they don't all be watching, but at least a lot of people follow or at least know of me. Even when I walk around Vegas, sometimes I'll be tripping out. People be catching me like freaking busted at Walmart or something, or at a, and I'm like, oh hell no. I try not to make gear because sometimes I'll be just flip flops and sandals. I mean, shorts. But yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it's great. It's great that you're doing this, and I know you're only gonna grow, especially with the nation. I love the content that you be putting out, especially when you be up in there. It's funny because when I be watching the pressers now, and I'll be hearing like, like, oh, this is a Vic Tafer, or hey, this, and then when I hear you talk, like, I'm like, oh, that's freaking beast. He would have the most like the most like have the most info in his question. I'll be like, I know it's when I know
yeah.
it's you when you ask. Sometimes it's crazy, but
Um, that's the thing. Is like a lot of the fans here in the nation, they said that they didn't watch pressers before or not as much, but then they know like what I've got from even coaches here, like
yeah.
these high school coaches that follow me here would be Liberty or Bishop Gorman or Coronado. Is like they found me from my press conference questions because they said I like your questions, like
Yeah,
that at the
questions be like,
presser.
yeah, sophisticated. Like, I think that's the beast. I know sometimes the players are thinking about like some simple questions, and then when you come like, they're like, oh shit, I got to think about what. But hey, that's like that's your thing though, man. And I know most of the players know you, especially when you ask questions like that. And it's
Yeah.
crazy because before I started the podcast and whatnot, I used to be like, I don't know, a long time. I used to get like starstruck when I see these players, but then when you get to talk to these guys, man, they're just like us, but that's their job, they just go play football, and then when you get that when you get that sense, it makes it much easier to interact with these guys and respect the game and what they do because it's their job just the same way it's our job, just talking in
Yeah.
front of a camera sometimes. But you doing your thing though, man.
I appreciate it, man. We have a question here
Yeah.
from Alexander Melkor. Thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. He says, since both of you two recently moved to Vegas, what is something both of you enjoy and find unique here? You can go first.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I do enjoy, obviously, like a little bias here, is going to the games. Uh, the fact that I get to go to the games is only 20 minutes away from me, and after a tough loss or a great win, I get to drive right back home and just chill at home. I don't have to drive back to Cali or anything like that. I think that's something that's really great. Something unique out here is, man, the amount of, well, unique. I guess the amount of the people you get to network with, I guess. Like
Hmm.
there's so many people I run into that's connected to something or here or like I talk to a lot of people that's like connected to the Raiders. I talk to you, over
Yeah.
here since you're connected to the Raiders. I know people that work at the Win Club. There's people that work at this and that. It's just and that's one thing I really wanted to do when I came out here was just to network with people, whether I met them at the game or met them at the parties. I think when you come out here and especially if you want to grow with your content, it's always about the people and not always about what you know. Because I always say here, I don't know everything about football. When
Yeah.
people when Sanjeet be breaking down film, I'll be like, I don't know what the fuck he talking about. But I just watch the game as a fan. I'm like, oh, this guy did not get a touchdown on this play, or Derek Carr
Yeah.
overthrew that guy. Whatever. I feel like that's something that's unique when I came out here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna piggyback on your answer a little bit. Are you from the Bay Area, by the way? Are you from
SoCal.
where? Oh, you're from
Okay.
SoCal.
Yeah,
Okay.
SoCal, Long Beach. I'm from
You're
Long
from
Beach.
Long Beach. Okay. So I'm from the Bay Area, right? So I'm coming from the
Yeah.
Bay Area. I think the difference between coming from the Bay Area to Las Vegas is the most unique thing is the opportunity. When I made the move as a beat writer from the 49ers to the Raiders, I'll be honest with you. The cost of living in the Bay Area, I couldn't afford it.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm
oh,
just, I
I
can't
know.
afford it.
I know.
So that's number one. Number two, I said if I was going to start a family, ideally, what does that look like if I lived in the Bay Area? You know, and so I said, okay, well, I still want to stay on a beat. Like, where else can I go? So I'm fighting with myself during COVID, right? Because during COVID, everybody you're all in the same hole, right? We can't go anywhere, shelter in place and everything. So I was like, it made you think a lot about the future, and I said, okay, I said, how cool would it be? And I told my parents this, how cool would it be if I covered the Raiders? And they're like, well, to be honest with you, not too many people know this, but I was a Raider fan before I became a Niner fan, and we had season tickets. So there's a jacket that I have downstairs here that my parents didn't have much money. They bought me a jacket. It was a starter jacket and had all the Super Bowl, patches on it. And they said, well, what do you have to lose? I think it'd be a great opportunity for you. So I talked to some people in my NFL circle who I network with, and they said, hey, I think this will be a great opportunity for you. Go for it, right? I think you'd be good. You can cover any NFL team. This is what you do. You have a grading system. You run great on film. You already know the Raiders. So try to get in that way. And so here I am today. And again, I wouldn't be here without obviously great people that work with the Raiders, right? I don't think the Raiders PR gets enough credit, right? The Raiders PR doesn't get enough credit that they deserve. They did a really good job in allowing me to come here and making this transition to make it very seamless for me coming from the Bay Area. But the opportunity with the Raiders organization as a whole is just so much greater than what I had back in the Bay Area, simply because of all-star games, right? Everything's here. The East-West Shrine game was here, so I covered it. The Pro Bowl was here, so I covered it. I never wanted to have those opportunities in my 12 years of covering the NFL as a beat writer if it wasn't for the Las Vegas Raiders playing here in Las Vegas. So just that alone, and then obviously you're here in Vegas. So like everybody comes here to visit, you're already here. So it's just like, about the opportunity. You said it best. The networking power, it's not about what you know. Sometimes it's about who you know, right? And sometimes it's about the combination of the three, right? Which would be both those two things mixed into one. So when you put all those parameters together, and then I can collab with like people like you, right? And then we can kind of work together, because this is our 9 to 5. Like, we're not doing this for fun. We're doing this to make money too, right? But it is our passion, and I think we see this. I think people gravitate toward something where people see the passion of it. Of course, we want to make money because we have to make money. Otherwise, we can't pay the bills. But the passion in seeing what someone is doing in their grind, especially coming from your perspective or from my perspective, I think that holds a lot of weight. And I think, to your credit, I don't think not enough people get enough credit for the content creators that push out this content, because I think sometimes it's a lot harder at sometimes being a content creator than it is a beat writer. And this is why. A beat writer is the number one source of the information, right? So we are the source, okay? We put out the source of information, right? Whether you want to agree with it or not, that's the information that we put out. The second layer to this is what the content creator has to do. He has to create that content into relating not the citing the source of the content, but that at the same time curating his own content to create it in a light where it comes freshly from that perspective, which would be UCE Nation podcast or something. So you're basically doing two people's jobs into one sometimes. And I think that's really, really crazy that you guys do that, because that's totally cool. But at the end of the day, I just think that the way things are going, you're not going to go anywhere, right? You're here to stay for the long haul. A lot of you guys, Sanjit's staying here for the long haul. And that's why I said, look, how cool, again, because this is my goal, is to team up with somebody or a couple people that I want to have a weekly show. So like you and Mr. Fitz have UCE Nation. I know I talked to Mr. Fitz and he's like, hey, we need you on the UCE Nation podcast. And so I'm down to do that when time allows. I'm definitely open to doing that. But you guys, Mr. Fitz, you guys, and by the way, UCE Nation podcast and Samoan Raider and Mr. Fitz's Instagram is in the description box here on YouTube. So go follow my guys there if you guys have yet to do so. But no, I plug you guys because I truly believe in the work that you guys do. Right. Yeah. I trust me. I don't put my name behind anything to trust me on this. There was a vetting process from a beat writer perspective that I went through and said, hey, look, I talked to people too. So I was like, hey, what do you think of Samoan Raider? I think he's a cool guy. That the people I talked to who I trust said, he's a good dude. And obviously Harry is one of my good dudes, right? So
Harry, my guy.
So so I think this is great. I think people love this. They always wanted this. They said you should collab with Samoan, you should collab with Sanjit. I think all the three, and Mr. Fitz, I think this would be a good fit. So the nation would know too. Like they're speaking for me. Because I'm new to the nation. I don't know.
But you made an impact so far, just being here for like a year, But yeah, It's great, especially when you get to like get with people, like Islanders, like and whatnot. Just to see so many different people, being Raider fans, being a part of the nation is crazy. And I wanted to ask you, did you go to that AAPI thing that was at the Raiders facility or no?
Dude, the funny thing is, no. So I was watching it at home, and I saw Sandra on TV. I was like, "Dang, I could have covered that, man!" But
Bro,
no,
I
because
didn't know about that. It's funny because Mark, Mark, right? The Mark
yeah,
with
yeah,
Sibling. He posted it, and I was like, "Man, how did I not know about this?" He's like, "Bro, I gotta have you on the next one." I was like, "Damn, I could have been like, or I could have at least pushed it. It would have been perfect. The AAPI
dude.
thing." I said I didn't know nothing about it till I seen the stories. Him and Sib was posting it. And I was like, "Oh, dang." Well, for sure, next AAPI month,
Yeah.
we'll do something. But there's a lot of polys. Like I didn't know how big the
Yes.
community was. Like, because when I grew up, obviously I had some family that were like Raider fans, but down in LA and whatnot, there wasn't a
Uh-huh.
lot of like polys. There was
Uh-huh.
mostly like Latinos and whatnot.
Mhm.
Most of those, that's what those are. Most of the polys that I knew were Steeler fans and Niner fans. Those are the two main. Those are
Yeah,
the two
okay.
main ones. And then I was like, okay, when I came out, I started meeting a lot more people. I got to meet Fitz out here, and then when we started the UCE Nation podcast, and we got some events coming up this year, and there's so many like
Talk about it. Talk about it, dude. Talk.
well,
This
we
is this
haven't
is
we
your
haven't
platform.
we haven't locked in anything yet, but we do.
Okay.
UCE Nation does. We have some parties going on out here. We got a lot of events that's going to be going on here in Vegas. We got the one that's going to be in LA, like always, because that's where our main base is at. We got a lot of SoCal people in LA that follow the Raiders, and then yeah, and then we possibly might go to Miami. I don't know if you go to away games, but we might go to Miami to see our cousin play quarterback.
Well, that's what's up. Yeah, so so that's the super chat. That's why I started the super chat super stickers because I have to pay my own way. I'm a one-man show. So making
Yeah,
a trip to a road game, obviously being self-employed, that's like kind of like the double-edged sword here, right?
yeah,
It's a give and take sacrifice. But I'm saving that, and I said, all the super chats that I get or all the money that I make from YouTube, because you guys like the content and you guys see me do it at Allegiant. I want to go to as many road games because I could get credentialed to the road games, right? I'm a beat
yeah.
writer.
It's just getting
So
there.
I just have to, it comes down to money for me though, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
nah,
because I'm self-employed. So that's how I'm trying to grow is because um I think the nation wants that. I think the DOB fam wants that here. And they said, hey man, like what if, you went ahead and set aside super chats for reserving for going on a road trip. And I said that'd be a great idea. So we've been doing that. I just restarted it yesterday's live stream, but I've been saving since November for it. But obviously, like we're not that big. I mean, we only have 5,300 subscribers, and so that's why we're asking for the nation's help to kind of push my content.
yeah,
And then also it works both ways, right? Because like when I push your content, you push my content, and then we all build good vibes, right? Because we're all
yeah,
about the good vibes only. It's not like I think people get the idea that content creators they're bad people, right? No, they're great people. I think content creators are great people. It's really I think the miscommunication between the checks and balances of the two, right? Like as a beat writer, there's checks and balances, right? There's people like if you're going to say something, you have to cite the source, right? And that's it, right?
yeah.
Because that's the checks and balances. So I think that's where the miscommunication can come into play is if somebody says something, just cite the source. And
Yeah. Most of the sources, trust me, bro.
well, well, think about it, because you cited me, right, on
Yeah,
Jimmy Garoppolo's postponed presser. You're
yeah.
the only one. You're
I
the only
usually do
one.
that. I usually do that with most of the like. If I get something like whether it's you, Vinny, or anybody else, I'll just say, "Oh, that's where I got it from," and then I'll give my insights on how I feel about the
Right.
situation. Well, and it's not hard. I even do it with Scout. Scout is one of the main sources I'd be going to
Yeah.
and whatnot. So I don't lie and act like I have like all the inside sources, but I put out what I do. And there's some people out there that don't put the sources out there. They just
Yeah.
say it or say they got the sources. Well, it's not that hard for me. It's like showing love. Like shouting you out, like, and people get to go follow you while also getting information, the same information that I got.
And content creators, by the way, get good. Yeah, you guys have good sources on your own too. Trust me on this,
No, I'm
right?
sure. I'm sure.
Come on, man. Like let's not get it twisted. So you don't have to be a beat writer to be a source, right? To get good information. Come on, bro. Let's talk about it.
My
But let's keep it 100. But no, I this has been great, man. I hope we can collab. I wanted to have like a weekly live show with you, if you're open to it. down the road. I don't know if you're open to it, but
I'll
to
figure it
have
out.
yeah, so figure something out to where we can kind of collab because again, the AAPI thing, I think we can work that, because we're misrepresented in the NFL, right? Like I feel like there's a lot of us who have talent, right? But then
Oh yeah.
we're not really like how many Asian beat writers do you know in the NFL?
Not that much.
Right? How many Samoan, right? Or how many
Samoans, I
right?
don't know any beat writer.
Right?
Not that I know of. Nah.
So I think that like especially with the Raiders, right? They're all about diversity. So
Yeah,
let's just try to raise the awareness, especially this month is AAPI month, right? So it's just like
we got. Oh, this is our last day.
yeah, it's the last
It's the last day.
you made the cut. You made the cut.
Right before the month was over.
Yeah, right before the month's over. But no, I think it'd be good. I think it'd be good to collab with you if you guys are open to it, you and Mr. Fitz or something like that.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah,
Because
but I know.
I think it'd be good. I mean, look, you bring an angle from a fan's perspective and a great
Yeah,
content creator perspective. I mean, you have a bigger voice than most people. Let's just put it that way.
yeah.
The way you edit your videos, by the way, is amazing. Like I don't know how you do that.
I
Like
appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man, because it takes time, man. Sometimes, because I know nowadays it's about like, hey, get it out right away. Like, who could get it out first or whatever. And now I'll be sitting here like editing my video. I'm like, oh damn, okay. Something else comes out. I'm like, oh, let me record this part now. But that's
yeah,
why I'm trying to get back into doing live streams as well, like a weekly live show, like just outside of the UCE Nation podcast, just to catch up on everything. And then obviously, if we do something, that'd be dope too. Getting more into the live stream
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, we could do more live stream stuff with me and you. I think that'd be good. But yeah, we'll work something out. I think it'd be good. I mean, I know people in the DOB have been asking for it. I'm just one of those people that values other people's time. Like I have what's called "Don't Miss a Beat from the Beat" every Thursday. But again, this is our 9 to 5. So to ask a beat writer to hop on every single Thursday and be like, "Hey, look, can you hop on my?" And like, dude, at some point you have to pay. You know what I mean? But if we work with each other that way, I think that would work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Um, we just have to pick up a time and that works out for you because I know you have it's a newborn baby, yeah?
yeah. Newborn,
Wow, how old?
5 months. 5 months.
Wow.
By the time season come around, she about to be about almost 8, 9 months. I'm gonna be bringing her to the games here and there, unless I
Yeah,
go to the win club, then I can't take her. But
yeah.
outside of that, I'll definitely be out there a couple games with
And
her.
we gotta meet up. We gotta meet up in person too, because you live here in
We
Vegas.
do. Yeah, I
Yeah.
live out here.
I just live right across the street. I live right across the street from Heritage headquarters, bro. I could
Yeah,
like walk
Henderson,
to
huh?
work. Yeah.
Dang, I
Yeah.
almost got a place around there when I came, but then what do you call it? We out here in Summerlin, so the whole other side. We're
Bro,
all the way on the other side.
you're in the nice side. That's like the Bay Area like suburb side. That's like
It's
the Orange County
yeah,
side, bro.
I like it out here. I like it, but I do want to move a little closer, like at least southwest, kind of closer to the stadium in Henderson area, because
Okay.
it do be a little bit of a drive up here. But it's nice out here. I like it though. Did you go to any of the events out here? Like if they have any Raider stuff going on? Do you go to any?
Um We didn't go to any Raiders events. We went to I know during was it you guys have in some downtown Summerlin there was like a parade. It's very family oriented.
Oh
So
yeah.
there was like a Halloween parade that we went to. Hey babe, what else did we go to? I'm talking to my girlfriend right now. She loves Summerlin. What else did we go to in Summerlin? That's your favorite spot. What was the things that we no, but for the parade and what else? What else did we do? Wasn't there one thing that I forgot what we did? Was there a farmer's market or something? But we went there for something else. Maybe it was Green Valley,
Right.
but we were in Summerlin. She loves Summerlin. Like we're in there every weekend. And a lot of the beat writers, they live in Summerlin.
Yeah.
A lot
Okay.
of the reporters that you see on like the news, a lot of the media people live in Summerlin.
Oh, that's
Like
crazy.
they literally live there. So it's just like they're like, you should move to Summerlin. I was like, I went there. I was like, dang, I kind of like Summerlin, but I like being
Yeah,
closer to Raiders headquarters.
because that's where you work. You could go there for the pressers and then come right back home. And that's probably why you're the first one there and the last one out. Huh?
Yeah, no, for sure. No, but we got to meet up. I'm down to meet up. I don't know what your schedule's like, but yeah, we can grab lunch or dinner or something, man. That'd be cool. And then I can actually meet you in person and stuff.
No, for sure, hell yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
and,
I don't,
and I'll definitely catch you at the games too. And whenever, well, whenever though, because I know you're busy at work when you.
no, dude, no, dude. That's the thing. It's like I always make time. Like you talk about like during tailgating, how I walk around, people meet. That's what happened. Is when I walked around the tailgates
Yeah,
shooting, the pregame vibes because I think that's really cool. I did it with the Niners and more Niner fans went to the games because of the pregame vibes, because they don't have the opportunity to see it pregame, just people talking about it, posting pictures on Facebook. But seeing it from a beat writer, now you're getting live action here.
Do you go live?
And it's
You go
yes,
live? Oh,
I go on the tailgate. Yeah, on the tailgate. Yeah.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah, so because that's cool, right? Because then it's like it's live. Obviously, if there's people cursing, I vet that out, right? Like because it's live, so you got to make sure that it's like.
Yeah, you got a
But
lot of Raider fans over there.
For the most part, yeah, like I'll film a video, or I'll film it live and then repost it, but it's like 30 seconds delay, right? Because it's not live, but so that's kind of like when I talk about live, that's how I do it. But it's one of those things where I think it's really cool thing. And people knew me. They were like taking selfies with me. They wanted me to sign stuff. So when I come out of the Raiders tunnel, and it came that way with the Niners too. They always asked me to sign things, and the players and they're like, dang man, like that. I've never seen a beat writer being asked to sign stuff. That's cool. You know what I mean? And so the same,
right?
Yeah, right out of the tunnel. Yeah. So the same vibe that's trending with the Niners when I was with the Niners is happening with the Raiders. And I don't know why they want me to sign stuff, but I think it's a really cool thing. And I'm sure it happens to you too. I mean, at the end of the day, you not only you have a voice, but I think you have a role to play because you are a role model to a lot of different people. And especially being, poly, right? Being Samoan, I think that holds a lot of weight because there's not a lot of people who have that space and have that exposure and have that bandwidth to just talk about the team that they love, be passionate about it, and then put out the best content that they can and be the best version of themselves. So Samoan, you do a really good job at that. Honestly, no BS, man. I'm keeping it 100 with you, bro.
Yeah,
like there's, so keep it up, man.
No, for sure, man.
But I don't know how much time you have left. You probably got to get going, right?
I probably still got like 5-10. Yeah,
let's talk.
What else you want? So I don't know if I really got your insight on this. Like, do you feel like Jimmy is gonna start this year? Like with that, even with all that, he's gonna start this year. And where do you see him taking this team this year at least?
Dang, you asked me a dang hard question, Samoan.
No, I didn't know. My bad.
No. I'm joking with you. I joke with you. Okay, one thing I joke. I'm a big jokester. Okay, so I joke around a lot.
But trust me,
I like these.
I don't really take this thing seriously sometimes. The only time you see the most serious part of me is after a game. My instant reaction. That's probably the most. The most serious I've ever been. Depending on if it's a win or a loss. After that, I kind of like lay loose and just. Shit, the shit. Whenever you see me with like Cody and them or whatnot, you always see like I'm always joking around with those guys. They'll probably talk about something serious, and I just always got a joke to throw in, joke in there. You know what I mean?
That's the good vibe. That's the good vibes only, though. You got to keep a positive outlook, positive mind. Which is hard to do after a loss. Trust me, as a fan.
I've had my.
And then when someone throws a joke, it's like sometimes you get more angry because like it's not funny. Like that's not funny, dude. Okay, so getting back to your question, I think Jimmy Garoppolo, to answer your first question, yes, I think he's going to start week 1. I mean, to be honest with you, that's kind of like playing it blind, but I just think that they wouldn't sign him to a contract knowing that and protect him from injury. I get it. But again, at the end of the day, you don't sign a guy to a contract if you didn't think he was capable starting week 1.
Yeah.
Now, let's say something does happen, okay, whatever, and he doesn't pass a physical. If he does take a physical, whatever the case may be, the language of that, I don't know. That's the reason why they brought in Brian Hoyer. I covered Brian Hoyer too with San Francisco. In fact, when Jimmy Garoppolo was traded to the Niners, they released Brian Hoyer when he was on the roster. So they brought back 2 guys that I worked with and very familiar with. So I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in Brian Hoyer as an insurance policy, even though they drafted Aiden O'Connell. But to get to your point, to answer your question, yes, I think he's going to start on May 31st right now, obviously. Yes, he's going to start week 1. And then the second part of your question is, how well do I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to do? I think he's going to prove the doubters wrong in terms of what he brings to the table. The one problem that Jimmy Garoppolo has, and there's no filter on this, I said it when I covered him with the Niners, is his deep ball accuracy between the 20s. That is an issue for him. So you see a lot of these safeties now climbing up inside the box, taking advantage. But the one thing that you can win off that is the play action pass. That will open up seams and where you can be a little bit inaccurate downfield, but still get the catch at the catch point. So again, if Devontae Adams is looking for the ball on the proper shoulder, but Jimmy Garoppolo throws it a little bit behind, that catch can still be made because you have the strong running game backed up by Josh Jacobs. So with all that being said, if you're looking at win-loss record, they have one the strength of schedule. I already went on record saying I think if they can pull out 9 wins, I think that's a win. Now, I know that sounds crazy because people will say, oh, no, we're 2 years now removed from the playoffs. We had Coach Bisaccia and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's all in the past. I mean, I'm looking toward the future. I'm looking in the present. What I see is Coach McDaniels. And again, people can talk about Coach McDaniels all they want. And you can have a varying opinion on him and call him a clown, have all these memes. I'm sure we all have seen them, right? But I already went on record saying Coach McDaniels is a top 5 coach in my estimation. And GM Dave Ziegler is a top 5 GM. Don't be surprised. And this is the reason why, is because the same dynamic that I saw having worked under 4 coaching regimes, covering them with the 49ers, the same Kyle Shanahan dynamic that I saw with the 49ers is the same dynamic that I see in Coach McDaniels. And you have to remember, in 2017, if you look at the Beast receipts, who did the Niners call for their head on the defensive coordinator side? They called for Robert Saleh's head, and I had Robert Saleh's back. I had Coach Saleh's back. I said, no, this guy's going to be a head coach. He's going to be the man. Give him some time. He just doesn't have the horses to kind of run the scheme that he wants. And people, oh, you're just a mouthpiece. You're this, you're that. I'm like, no, man, I keep it 100. And all those people have turned, they were my haters. Now they're my loyal followers because they know that I keep it 100. So even though the same dynamic with Coach Graham is, oh, Coach Graham it's too complex, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, man, Coach Graham is a very smart defensive coordinator. I like Coach Graham a lot. He's also one of the top defensive coordinators in my estimation, in my opinion, right? So again, when you put that all together and you come out with a 9-win season based on the strength of schedule, even though they may miss the playoffs, now I hope they go 17-0. Okay. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they go 17-0. Right?
I hope for that every year.
yes. Every year. I hope they go 17-0, win the Super Bowl, and Max Crosby wins Defensive Player of the Year, which he should this year.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we have to be realists too. And if they can pull out at least 9 wins, which is better than the over-under on 7.5 here in Vegas, that is a win. That is a win in my book, and I think both jobs will be safe at that point. What about you? What is your take?
No, I still feel confident that Jimmy's going to start week 1, and I do have the Raiders. Damn, I don't really have a record on it.
Okay,
I'm always bad with records, but I do feel like the Raiders can sneak into the playoffs.
Ooh, I like that.
This is only if Jimmy.
I like that.
Healthy, if he stays healthy, though. But it's a blessing and a curse for me because I'm always an optimistic fan every single year. Okay. But I feel like a lot of people give a lot of flack to Josh McDaniels because they let go of their favorite quarterback, and I have nothing but love for Derek Carr, and I've had my ups and downs with him and whatnot. But I feel like I'm in the minority when I say this. I feel like Josh McDaniels made the right decision for us moving forward, because I don't think that we could ever gauge how good or how bad Josh McDaniels is without Derek Carr. Every coach has had Derek Carr all the time, and it was never Derek Carr's fault for most people. It was always the coach's fault, which is why a lot of people came in and went out outside of John Gruden. But I feel like with something new here with Jimmy Garoppolo, I still feel like he's a viable quarterback to at least win a couple of games. Who knows what he'll do when we get into the playoffs, but I feel like he could be a quarterback that could lead us into the playoffs. And it was the same thing that I said about, like, it's kind of like a different position, but when Michael Crabtree was a free agent that one year, and I was like, man, the Raiders need a wide receiver. I think Michael Crabtree would be perfect for the team, And a lot of people said, hell no, because obviously he was a Niner. I didn't like Michael Crabtree either, like, while he was a Niner. But I was like, you know what? Like, he'd probably be a good Raider, and you brought him over here. And I feel like he was one of the better wide receivers that the Raiders have had these past couple of years, Yeah. So with that being said, I am optimistic, like I said earlier, about Jimmy G this year. I hope he goes out there and proves everybody wrong. If he doesn't, then I'll have to chew my words and crow about that, and then move on. Hopefully, we find somebody else. Whether that's why I wanted that's one reason why I wanted a quarterback this year.
Okay.
Just to have just to have just in case. I guess Aiden O'Connell was the guy for them, but I feel like if everything goes right, at least injury wise, I feel like the Raiders could go and sneak into the playoffs.
That's a great analysis. And again, you're not wrong in your analysis. I think the 9 wins, I'm going to piggyback on you. If Jimmy Garoppolo stays healthy, that's a big if.
Well, I guess that is the biggest if to this whole thing, because that's the biggest worry that everybody has, with Jimmy G, which is understandable. I'm not. You know,
Oh
I'm not
no,
gonna say that's wrong to think of, but
yeah.
if he does get injured, then it is what it is. But
And we're in trouble.
yeah,
We're in trouble.
you got a lot of people over here like we should never let go to Derek Carr.
I know. What do you think about Derek Carr though? Here's my thing on Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr personally. I think he's a great guy, great
Yeah.
person. I also liked him professionally on the field. I like Derek Carr. I'm a Derek Carr supporter, right? What you how come the nation feels a certain way about Derek Carr? I know he has all these records, he's been with them for so long, but what is from a fan perspective, like why are they so emotionally attached to Derek Carr? Is it because what have you done for me lately and he's been with the team for so long? Or is it because they truly believe that he could have taken him to the Super Bowl?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think
Okay.
one, he was the most stable quarterback that most of the Raider fans have seen in quite a long time. That's the most
Mhm.
stable quarterback. I've been a fan since '03, and I've seen the carousel of quarterbacks. And
Mhm.
Derek Carr is one of those guys that always had promise, or at least gave us a chance to win in these games. And I think the 2016 season really kind of screwed him over. Like it was like a blessing and a curse at the same time because that 2016 season was his MVP. I would say his MVP season. He had a
Yeah.
great season. Like he was the reason why the Raiders won most of those games. He was the captain, and then after that, he started falling off just a little bit.
Mm.
And I didn't get off the Derek Carr train till because I was one of those guys that was still sticking with him through thick and thin. He's not the reason why we're losing because most of the time it wasn't his fault until I think it was 2020. I think the
Okay.
2020 season. I think it was the game we played or 2021 season. I forgot. We played the Bengals and like on offense, we couldn't do nothing. We couldn't move the ball. Like the defense was holding us into games, and I think that
Wow.
that was one of the main reasons why a lot of people are against him. Like this is the reason
Mm.
why I started
Mm.
getting more frustrated with him is because as much as everybody talks about how bad the defense was this past year and the year prior, the season we went to the Super Bowl, is our defense have been able to at least keep the game close or give our
Mm.
offense a chance to win games. This past
Okay.
season, you see, we lost a lot of games within one score
Yes.
or we gave up. So all those games, we still had a chance to win those games, but offense wasn't able to score points. Derek Carr obviously is going to be the leader of that. So that's where the frustration comes from. And then there's other people that stick with him because I feel like he was a guy that a lot of people knew. They just felt like we just didn't have the right pieces around him. Whether it wasn't having a number one wide receiver, whether it wasn't having an offensive line, whether it wasn't having a defense, it was either one of those three all the time. It was never Derek Carr, and most of the time they were correct.
Mhm.
But last year a lot of people complained about the offensive line, but I don't think the offensive line was as bad as everybody said it was. The defense, yeah, we didn't have the talent. Well, the defense was up and down last year, but we were still in a lot of these games to win, but the offense never came through. So that's why I was frustrated. I think it was just time for the Raiders to move on from
Mhm.
Derek Carr because I think if we kept Derek Carr, we were just gonna stay like right in the middle, like the 7 wins,
Mm.
maybe 8 wins. If we're lucky enough, we'll get 9 wins. But it was always gonna teeter around there. But
Yeah. That's a great point, and I think, man, by you saying that, TJ, I'm pretty sure the nation like call for people's heads if you say, "Oh,
oh,
Derek Carr." It's
there,
it's 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 like you struck a chord with them. Like if you say, "Hey,
oh
Derek
no,
Carr,"
I've
it's a
learned.
lateral move. It's a lateral move moving on from Jimmy G. So like for you to say that, I like that. I like that
Yeah,
you stick to your guns.
yeah, I've had a lot of. I think I've probably even lost some subscribers because of that. But I was one of those guys that was an advocate for Derek Carr, and I was always sticking up for Derek Carr. I mean, I started YouTube when Derek Carr got drafted, so I got to
Yeah.
see his whole career. And then the moment I slightly turned on him because I always say like I finally woke up, I finally got to see like everything, that's when a lot of people started like I would say not really. There's people that love it because they
Yeah.
see where I come from. I just talk from how I feel, Like I always
Right.
say, I don't know everything about what it is to know about football and whatnot. I don't analyze the game like that. Like like how you do your work
Mm.
and stuff. I just talk as a fan and how I
Yeah.
feel. Like if I feel like Derek Carr did bad, I'll talk on it. I'll get on him for that. If I feel like he did good,
Mhm.
I'll praise him. I'll say,
Yeah.
yo, he did a great job this game. He really bounced back. And it's funny because I feel like that's what really ruined like that's really what caused the division between the Raider Nation
Mhm.
was really like Derek Carr. Not because of
Mm.
what Derek Carr did. Yeah, I think Derek Carr is a great guy, but it's the people whether you're a Derek Carr supporter or a Derek Carr hater, you know. And there's a lot of people that don't feel like because I feel like I support Derek Carr, but I'm gonna call him out if he does bad. You know,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, if you're
Yeah.
a hater, if you're gonna be a hater, don't try to praise it because there's be times that like I
Yeah.
said, I praise him. I say, dang, Derek did a really great job this year.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this game, you know, he's the reason why we won, and people will be like, oh, now you like Derek Carr, you know, like all of us. I was like, I, but it's funny because it's always Derek Carr. Like if it was anybody else, everybody could get on Chandler Jones and nobody cares. You know, like
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
Chandler
Yeah.
whatever. Everybody hates that, whatever. And then when he starts getting like when he starts balling out, then like, hey, we could praise Chandler Jones for
Yeah.
coming back, you know. But nobody's gonna be sticking up for him like they do Derek Carr. I don't know what it is. To me, it feels like a cult sometimes.
Dude, that's
but
that's exactly the comments that I get is there's Derek Carr and they call it a cult. Like the there's like actually on Twitter, I don't know if you've seen it. There's actually a Twitter that's a Derek Carr cult
yeah,
following. And I don't know how I'm tagged on this stuff, but I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I don't even follow these people. Like, what is going
I
on?
it's a forbidden name for a lot of
You know what
people.
I'm talking about too.
If
I'm
you
pretty
don't
sure
talk
you're tagging
nice
some
about
of the stuff.
yeah, if you don't talk nice about them, don't talk about them at all. But
Yeah.
for me, I don't care. I don't give a shit. You know, like yeah, I'm gonna talk about him. However, like you know, like but I'm good friends. See, I'm good friends with a lot of people that are Derek
Yeah.
Carr supporters. You know, and like I'll joke around with them a lot. You
Yeah.
know, like my guy Cody, man, that's my oos right there. But sometimes we'll be at the game and Derek Carr does something dumb, and I'm like, man, that's your quarterback. You know, I'll just joke around with him. He's like, oh, come on, man, like no, but most of the time, you know, it's all love. Like I get mad about him on the field here and there, but then the guy, you know, the leader that he
Yeah.
is, the guy that he is, man, I got a lot of respect for him. I always do, you know, and sometimes he always likes some of my stuff, and I know people are like, oh, you wouldn't say that to his face, or I'm like, it doesn't even have to be that serious. Like
Yeah.
I'll call it, like if I'm in front of Derek Carr, I'm not gonna be disrespectful. I'm like, yo, like F
Yeah.
you, you know,
Yeah.
you really cost it. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
respectful, you know. But when I'm talking about a game, I'm giving my thoughts, you know. I'm gonna talk how I talk, you know. Like if I'm frustrated, that's my initial reaction. After a day, I'm like, all right. But then whenever I have to get into an argument with somebody, I just like, all right. Like, it's whether it's on Twitter. I don't really be on Twitter like that, but I do see a lot of the back and
Yeah.
forth,
Yeah.
especially after games. Though those be crazy, you know, whether or not you're with Derek Carr against them. And now that he's not a part of the team, I know we all still talk about him. And you know the funny thing is, I hope he goes and succeeds. You know, like
Yeah. Of course.
if he
Yeah.
goes and wins a Super Bowl, I'm gonna be really happy.
Right.
Unless he's
Right.
playing us, then I hope he has a
Yeah.
shitty game. You know, I
Right.
hope he has
Right.
his worst game. F Derek Carr, whatever, blah blah. But outside of that, if he's going out there and if he does a Matt Stafford story, you know, like go and win a Super Bowl, I'm gonna be happy. I'm almost because I feel like him moving on. I feel like the Raiders moving on from him was good for the Raiders. And it was good for Derek Carr, you know, both sides. As
Yeah.
much as he loved the Raiders Nation and whatnot, as much as he spent with the Raiders, I don't think I came to the realization that we were never going to win anything with Derek Carr. So why
Mm.
not try something else? You know, I thought last year when we got Devontae Adams, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this could be it. You know,
Yeah.
because after
Yeah.
after we lost to the Bengals in the playoffs prior, I was like, man, we need to get a new quarterback. You know, like let's get some. And then they went out and got Devontae Adams. I was like, oh shit, you know, maybe we could do something. You know,
Right.
and I mean, there's a lot of games whether or not you know it's the refs' fault, the defense fault, Derek Carr's fault. You know, it just didn't work out. You know,
Yeah.
and I feel like moving on, we'll just have to see how it is. And a lot of people get mad at Devon. I mean, what's his name? Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
You know, fire him, fire him. Well, like, why fire him after 1 year? You know, like we gave Derek Carr 9 years to
Yeah.
whether or not it was, you know, he went through all these coaches or not. We gave him 9 years to go out there and show us something. And why are we only giving this guy 1 year? And we're never gonna like build stability if we keep moving on, you know, coach to
Yeah.
coach. So for me, I feel like giving Josh McDaniels at least 3 years, see what we do in that time span. If it
Yeah.
doesn't seem like we're growing, then we cut ties with them. You know, John Gruden, his first season was shitty with us, you know.
Yeah.
But we were slowly going upwards until those emails came out. But outside of that, you know, like I'm really optimistic about this year. You know, whatever Derek does over there with the New Orleans Saints, you know, I'm gonna applaud him and I'm gonna support him, man.
Daniel Kim, thank you so much for the super chat. It says Oos and Beast Nation Raider. See, everyone loves it, bro. Everyone
I
wants,
appreciate
dude.
it. Shout out to the chat. Everybody that's been in the chat. I've been seeing some of the comments have been putting up, but yo, shout out for the super chat, man. That's our
Everyone,
big.
everyone likes it, bro. Like,
Yeah, man.
everyone like. Hey, I telling you, we got to make it happen, bro.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's always a good time. I get to talk to the chat and stuff because I don't go live a lot, but I should. I
Well,
should.
what we can do is, like I said, I can help you out with that too. Like, cause you're, like I said, the whole live thing now. I don't know if on YouTube you know this, but you can actually collab with another like a YouTuber, and
Yeah,
then you guys
just
can both.
put it
You know how to do
simulcast.
that?
Yeah. Well, I've done it before. I just said,
Oh, cause I've never done that on that way. I never
oh,
done that
okay.
before, so I don't
Yeah,
know. So maybe you teach me how to do that. I don't know how to do that. But no,
yeah.
I think it's cool. But no, Samoan Raider's been really fun times. I know you got to get going.
Yeah.
But we can find Samoan Raider. Everyone here probably follows you anyway, so it's probably not a win for you. But yeah,
All the
40,000
Niners fans,
subscribers.
come
Yeah,
over
40.
here, man. I'm
Yeah,
just joking.
you can follow my guy Samoan Raider. Right here. It's in the description box below. But at Samoan Raider, he's on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You can follow him at Samoan Raider. Also, follow Mr. Fitz. They have a Oos Nation podcast at Oos Nation Podcast.
Yeah.
So again, all of that is in the description box below. It's also on my Instagram stories. It's also on my Facebook. I have like 8 Facebook groups, by the way. So this is live on that too. Yeah, dude. So I manage all that. So that's all trending right now on there. Those platforms. I didn't post those comments. There's just way too many comments going through.
Oh,
But
no.
I can't get to everyone, and people are like, "Hey, you missed my comment." It's like, "Oh, sorry." But anyways, I can only imagine what 40,000 looks like.
Nah, that's not. It's not. Nah, it's not that much.
But no, thank you so much, Samoan Raider. I appreciate it. And again, is there anything that you want to promote? Whether it be Charles Woodson, because you are part of the, was it Bourbon Whiskey or
Woodson,
Whiskey Bourbon?
I don't have his. Oh, well, you see this big guy right here.
Yeah. But
But I don't.
but then also your hat is Redemption brand.
No. This is
No.
Dark Side. It's Dark Side.
Okay.
But shout out Redemption brand too, man.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
Redemption,
Shout,
my guy Ray, man. And then shout out my guy freaking the Nation too. I got everybody. They're just all over the place.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna give everyone a shout out. Give everyone a shout out that you collab with. I mean, this is your time. So why don't you go ahead and do that?
Man, well, like you said, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, man, subscribe. It's at Samoan Raider, Instagram, Twitter, Samoan Raider. What else? We got the UCE Nation podcast, so you could go follow that. We got a YouTube channel now that we just put up with Brandon Parker. That was our latest one, and we got some names that you guys know that we're trying to get.
Don't release the names. Don't release the names.
Yeah. The next one for sure is a cornerback that played last year, so got some big plays last year. So we got that lined up, and then next month we got a running back that still hasn't been signed yet. So we'll see what's going on with that. But outside of that, man, shout out to everybody. Shout out to my Oos, Mr. Fitz. Follow the Oos Nation. We got a lot of plans going on this year, and then hopefully me and Beast could get something going on this year, and then meet up, collab, whatever, this season, whether it's at Allegiant Stadium or online just like this. But again, for those of you guys that are here and haven't subscribed to the Beastwriter, man, subscribe to him, man. Put out some great work, and he's basically in there. He's in the trenches doing it with the Raiders right now. But man, again, I appreciate you having me on the show. We definitely got to do this again, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a huge hit. We had a lot of viewers at 2 p.m. Usually I don't start till 6 p.m. And I was like, I wonder how many viewers, because I'm not big, right? I'm small. I'm small time. No. I'm small.
Get 5,000, bro.
but that's true. But like compared to like you or Sanjeet or someone else, I mean, you guys are big time. So like I was afraid. I was like, dude, are we gonna have like
that's Mitchell Rand,
like,
bro.
5 people watching, but we had like up to like 60, 70 people here at one time.
Yeah.
So for us, it's big. For you, it's probably like average or.
My live isn't that strong either because I don't go live that much. So, we'll see. Maybe if I become consistent like you, man.
Well, we'll work it out. But no, thank you so much, Samoan Raider. You've been awesome, man. And again, thank you for hopping on. We got to do this, and we'll work on the collab. Or work together on maybe getting a weekly show going. And again, I think what's really cool is like you said, networking, like meeting up with people and just getting
Yeah.
to know the person. Because what you see on social media is not necessarily what you see in real life. Like everything that people post, like they post a glamorous lifestyle, like, oh, this guy's so cool. And it's like, you meet the person, like, bro, that's not even like you. Like you're totally different. Like,
That's what
so
I do. I make it look fun, but then I'll be stressful.
yeah.
I'll
No,
just
you make it look fun, and you're a fun guy. So, yeah, I appreciate it, man. Taking time out of your schedule, and I'll be sure not just on this live stream and ending it, but like I don't know if you know, but like every live stream or everything I might go on, and people can confirm this on the Beast Receipts. I always give you, Mr. Fitz, UCE Nation, all the other content creators like Pharaoh, Raider. I always give you guys a shout out because I feel like, why not, right? Like, why not? I think you guys do good work, so it's just not like a one-off. Okay, now we're done. It's like, nah, man, I'm going to keep giving you guys love because at the end of the day, it's like, if you put out good work, people are going to find you anyways. So why not just push it? You know what I'm saying? Why not just push it to, hey, this guy does, like your editing is on point. I don't know anybody who does the best like editing style. I mean, you and Pharaoh and a few of you guys do like the best work. It's great. So follow my guy Samoan Raider for sure. But thank you so much, Samoan. I appreciate it, my guy.
No, I appreciate it, man. For sure.
All right. Peace, man. All right. That was Samoan Raider, everyone. And we had a successful live stream. Wow. Daniel Moon says, I remember watching that and laughing like, damn, what a joke they've become. They're out there playing a ring around the rosy on all y'all. And you still can't get up to stop them off time. Yeah, the whole ring around the rosy on the Kansas City Chiefs game. I was up there in the press. I was like, what is going on? But hey, let's get to some of your questions here and some of your comments. R. Vega says, Beastwriter on the Beast Nation show. Flinko vs. Flinko says, I missed the whole live stream. I'll rewatch. Good to see you guys. Daniel Kim says, Samoan's a great guy. I met him with my son at the event out in Adelanto. See, sorry I missed all these comments here, by the way, but on the replay, I'll be up there. Larry Monster says, good vibes. Al's Ghost says, salute. And yeah, we had a lot of good stuff going on. But I just want to say before we let go of this Blitz Pickup live stream that we'll be hopping on more, right? So again, this is the whole point of it. I was on Sanjeet's channel yesterday, Samoan Raiders on mine today. And this is the whole vibe that I want to bring together as the nation coming together as one. You have different opinions. That's all good and dandy, but just be respectful. And again, it's all about them good vibes only here in the DOB. So I just want to give a special shout out to those that sent me super chats today. On to Six Soldier, thank you so much. He says, working overtime, but still watching Beast. Thank you for your super chat. Alexander Melkor says, since both of you two recently moved to Las Vegas, what is something both of you enjoy and find unique here? We discussed that. Thank you so much, Alexander. This is the first time you sent me a super chat, so mahalo for the love and support. All the super chats will go toward my funds for getting to a road game. Hopefully I can get out to a few this year. Again, I'm a one-man show. I'm self-employed, so I pay my own way. But these definitely do help. And if money is tight, just watch all the replays. Time is money. And that will also help me make money in terms of the instant gratification versus long-term gains. And will also push the video and the YouTube channel as a recommended video to other like-minded nations. So again, donating your time is just as good and just as good as the engagement as giving it a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Daniel Kim, for modding the channel, along with D Menace, along with On to Six, and Robert Pena. You guys been nothing but awesome. He says, UCE and Beast Nation Raiders. All right, guys, this has been fun. And I know you guys wanted Samoan on. And again, I value his time. Like I value his time, just like I value, the beat writers and the guests that we have on here. Because again, the expectation is, I don't have a family. I don't have kids. Like someone has a family. He has a newborn kid. Sanjay has a newborn kid. They have families that have their own thing. And beat writers too, right? They have their own lives, right? They have kids going to college and all of that. And so I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. You guys are my family. So here we go. But no, I had a lot of fun today and I have the bandwidth to do it. So I'm going to continue doing it for as long as I can. But if you guys are watching the replay, just if you guys want support, give the video a thumbs up, engage with me on the platform. I always get back to every single comment here. And again, I think it's really cool to not only give you a beat writer perspective on the daily grind, right? Because that's my 9 to 5 is giving you the daily grind, being the pulse of the team with those locker room pulse interviews, the coach's corner interviews, and then also breaking down film and then asking those questions and getting ready for the lead up to the game on the news notes and quotes and how that affects the team moving forward and these transactions and all that in between. On top of all of that, and then engaging with you on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all the comments, and then making articles amongst themselves, and then also posting up on the community page, and then engaging with you on the replays of these videos that I post every single day. I mean, throughout the year, on any given day, I can post 8 to 12 videos, which includes 8 to 12 articles on one day. So a lot of legwork involved, and that's not even including the 2-hour live stream that I have to prep and prepare for, right? So again, to hop on these live streams and with having a seamless transition, and then again making sure the lighting and the microphone is checked out, and then the streaming. I mean, me and Samoan was trying to get on, and again, there's a lot of issues, right? Like that can go wrong. And he's talking about, the editing of the videos. I mean, I'm a one-man show. I do it all, right? I'm the content guy. I'm the beat writer. I'm the sound check guy. I'm the live streaming guy. I'm the lighting guy. I am the thumbnail guy. Oh my gosh, just making a thumbnail on YouTube and then curating it on Instagram and then making sure it fits on Facebook, and then Twitter is just a huge hassle in itself. And then woosah. But I do it all for you. And again, I wouldn't be here without you guys in my corner. So again, spread the word to all your family friends. If you like the silver and black content that I bring on the daily, I wouldn't be here without you guys in my corner. And again, once we hit a certain amount of subscribers, hopefully 10K will kind of provide that. I look to provide tickets for you guys as giveaways, like I do with the Niners. I've been doing it that way ever since my days at Candlestick. And my parents always instilled that in me, as be humble and always give back and remember where you came from. And so I have to credit my parents for raising me to be the man I am today in terms of doing that, right? Because I think it takes an army to get to where I need to be. And then once, I think some people lose sight of, once you get to a certain point, are you just going to stop? No, like you're always going to give back to the ones that helped get you there. And it's the nation, right? It's the Raiders PR. I mean, they do a really good, again, the Raiders PR does not get enough credit for doing what they do. Like, trust me, like coming over from the Niners, they do a really good job too. Raiders do a really good job as well. So it's just like, and I've heard stories of PR teams that don't do so well. I'm not going to name, I'm just saying, but all these people, I wouldn't be in the position I am without all these people supporting the DOB, right? Like, let's just get it 100, right? So it's just like, I may be the face of DOB, but all those people I just mentioned are the bloodline. You guys are the bloodline of the DOB. And I can't thank you guys enough. You guys allow me to do what I do, live out my passion. I'm very passionate about what I'm doing here and establishing the best content from a beat writer perspective, bringing a fresh layer and flavor that you guys have all come to love, whether it be with my reporting, my interview questions, or my game film breakdown. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I had a lot of fun on this live stream. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. And again, we're leaving no stone unturned. We're keeping things hot where there is no off season here in the dark side of Beastwriter. Take care for now. Have a good night. Watch all my videos to help out your boy get to a road game in 2023. Cheers to this lovely Blitz Pickup Wednesday. I'll be hopping on back tomorrow for a Don't Miss a Beat from the Beat with a beat writer. Again, today was a Blitz Pickup with a content creator. Tomorrow will be a Blitz Pickup, but the title of the name is called Don't Miss a Beat from the Beat. Get it? Because he's a beat writer or she's a beat writer. And we'll be talking to that person tomorrow, hopefully, if our schedule are aligned. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Have a good night. Take care for now. Beastwriter out.